don't know, like I just wasn't that into it. Jacobite, whatever. I was like, okay, now I'm over it. Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Just Shauna here to talk about the books I DNF'd in March. I don't normally do wrap-ups or anything like that in like month intervals because that was stressful for me years ago. So that's why I do recent wrap-ups. But it just so happens that I recorded my last recent wrap-up and it went up until the beginning of March. So all I have right now to talk about are books I read in March, and today when I am filming, it is the final day of March. So I do have several books to talk about in a couple of recent wrap-ups for the books I read in March, because March was far better than February. But I also did have quite a few DNFs. So I'm just gonna separate the DNFs this time into their own little video, because there were 6 DNFs in March. Okay, let's see. Where's our first sucker? Ah, yes, okay. The first one I have actually talked about in a different video, the Reading Tastes Project video, and that was Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. This is adult epic fantasy. The synopsis for this one: Kieran grew up in the slums of Kerr, a thief and a minstrel's son, raised on tales of long-lost princes and magnificent quests. When he is claimed against his will as the missing son of a treasonous prince, Kieran finds himself at the mercy of his new family's ruthless power plays and political ambitions. Practically a prisoner, Kieran discovers that being a long-lost prince is nothing like what the storybooks promised. The storybooks have lied about a lot of other things, too. Dragons, demons, gods, prophecies, and how the hero always wins. Then again, maybe he isn't the hero after all, for Kieran is not destined to save the world, he's destined to destroy it. Sounds fun, however, it just didn't work for me. I did read up until like 40%, 39%, and the story structure just wasn't the vibe for me personally. It was told in 2 different perspectives, telling a story. One was Kieran telling his story of right about the time that he got like taken, per the synopsis, claimed by this family. And then a different character telling Kieran's story, but when he was even younger. So it's Kieran's story told in 2 different perspectives, but one of the perspectives is from someone else's POV telling Kieran's story. I don't know. It was just a little all over the place for me. I couldn't get into it. And also some of it felt a little info dumpy in parts where it felt a little clunky and it just wasn't working for me. Then I had a good run for a minute of actually finishing books. The next DNF though was Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This one has kind of a long synopsis, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but essentially we are in the 1970s, summer of 1970. We're following a teenage girl who gets sent to a home for unwed mothers in Florida, and we have a cast of characters, all these girls that are there, hidden by their families to have their babies in secret and, make up some story about where they went. And they are very regimented at this house. They're not exactly treated well. And then our main character, Fern, meets a librarian who gives her a book of witchcraft, and things ensue. This one, I read almost half of the book. I stopped at 46%. I was reading through it like pretty quickly, and I wasn't hating anything. One of those situations where I was like, I could finish this pretty quickly, but I was already like 46% into it, and I just wasn't that gripped by the story. It was cool, it was fine, it was whatever. It just wasn't really grabbing my attention. The characters were fine, and like I can see why people would really resonate with the story and really enjoy it, but it wasn't doing it for me. And then I had a pretty quick like consecutive run of DNFs. I have so many Kindle books, so many ebooks on my Kindle that I got years ago from the like Amazon First Reads program or whatever. And lately I haven't really been grabbing any because I'm trying to only grab one of those if it's something that like truly, truly catches my interest. Not just like, I guess because I should pick one, here's the one I'll pick. But that's what I used to do. And so I have so many, and I was very much in a mood reading mood. And I wanted something. I was like, I just want to like find a book that's gonna grab my attention. I've been reading so many things that are either rereads or that I love, but then like the newer things I'm picking up, I'm just feeling like about them, and I want something. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let me just like go grab mood read style, grab one of these Kindle First Reads books that have been on my fucking Kindle forever. So I went back to the older ones. And the first one was The Snow Gypsy by Lindsay Jane Ashford. And this is historical fiction. And I'll just read the little blurb. A haunting novel of two women, one determined to uncover the past and the other determined to escape it. It's like a World War II. There's a woman whose brother vanished years ago into Spain. He had left some letters and mentioned a child, a woman that was carrying his child. And so his sister's like, let me go see what I can find out. And a journey ensues. They come face to face with war's darkest truths. Their lives will be changed forever by memories, secrets, and friendships. And yeah, I quit at 8%. I didn't get that far into it, and I was just not that into it. Just kind of wasn't doing much for me. I know my reading tastes. I'm good. And then the next one that I grabbed from my Kindle that I've had on the list forever was Mask of Duplicity by Julia Brannon. Historical romance. This one is a really long synopsis, and it's all one giant paragraph. I'll just read the blurb that's at the end. The first in the series about the fascinating lives of beautiful Beth Cunningham, her family and friends during the tempestuous days leading up to the Jacobite Rebellion of 1745, which attempted to overthrow the Hanoverian King George II and restore the Stuarts to the British throne. Join the rebellion of one woman and her fight for survival in the Jacobite Chronicles. Jacobite? Whatever. It's a series, and I didn't get that far into this one either. 6% into this one. I just almost immediately with this one, whereas the Snow Gypsy, I just was kind of like, I don't know. Like, I just wasn't that into it. Whereas with this one, I realized almost immediately, like, I don't know why I thought I would like this. It's historical romance in this, like, era that just isn't always my jam, I guess. I haven't read that much of it, but the ones I have read, I feel very lukewarm about. And there was one character that immediately, like, rampant sexism, which, you know, it's of the time, and he was presented as an unlikable character. Like, it didn't come across like the author was saying 2 thumbs up for this guy's behavior, but I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to read it. I was just like, ugh, no, not what I want. Not what I want to fucking feel exhausted with, you know? So I quit and removed that one as well. And then I had one on my Kindle from forever ago that was from the, the self-pub, like, blog-off thing that happens. And this is from several years ago. Burn Red Skies by Kirsten Espinoza Rosero. This is fantasy, I think adult. I'm not real sure. I guess, like, what I read, the character was a teenager, I think. But the synopsis of this one, it starts with a rift that burns 1,000 scars into the sky. It makes the winds stop. It makes the stars go dark. It awakens an ancient beast, and with it a new rain of blood. It is the summoning, and at the heart of it is fire. When the summoner's army blasts through her village, Dove is forced into hiding. Torn from everything she knows, she begins training in the elements with only one goal in mind, to find her brother. She just needs to get past the summoner's army. But how can she slay a dragon that is already dead? This one, I got 11% into it. The premise was really intriguing, and initially when I first started reading it, I was feeling pretty excited about this. I was like, oh, okay, all right, maybe there's something here. But pretty quickly, the world building was falling short for me. I don't want an author to info dump everything about a world right away. I don't need to know everything about the world right up front to start. You can, you know, lay things out for me as we're going along, for sure. But they kept talking about the purge, the purge, the purge is happening. Oh God, everybody's terrified of the purge. Mentioning it over and over and over and over again, mentioning places and kingdoms and past events that were clearly very important to the characters we were following and to the story, the plot, the world building, like things that were important but were just like casual mentions and not explained. And by 11% in, I just was feeling like I should have more of a picture of this world by this point. There shouldn't still be so much completely up in the air. Like, yeah, the first time you mention the purge, you don't need to info dump about it. But then, like, lay it out to me. By the time we got to this point, I felt like I should know what the fuck the purge is and what we're doing here. And we just didn't, and it was just driving me nuts. So I was done at that point. I was like, okay, now I'm over it. And then the last one to talk about is one that pretty recently, one of my series TBR, try a chapter kind of project that I am doing. I did a try chapter for this series, for this first book, Heartstone by L. Catherine White. And I was like, ooh, I'm intrigued and I kind of want to read it sooner rather than later. Like, I really liked the first bit that I read. Like, I'm excited. And it's YA fantasy romance. It's Pride and Prejudice retelling, but with dragons and dragon riders, okay? And I got 33% into this one. And this is another case of nothing really wrong with it. Nothing sticking in my craw. There wasn't any one thing that I was like, oh, I'm not loving that. I was enjoying it, and like the characters were enjoyable. The plot was cool. The world was cool, like how the dragon riding works and what they do and all of that. Like, it was fine. But I got 33% in, and I just found myself not really wanting to pick it up and just feeling kind of lukewarm toward it. And just having that realization kind of while I can see a lot of people liking this and I enjoy the premise and there's nothing like wrong with it, it's just, I know it's not going to be something that I'm going to end up being like, I love it so much. If I was going to be like that, I would be feeling that already at this point. And I wasn't. So DNF at 33%. And that is it. That's the DNFs for March. Several, but I did read 10 books. So I still read more than I DNF'd, which is good. Let me know if you actually have read any of these and if you loved them, if you're surprised that I DNF'd any of them, or you think I made a horrible mistake DNFing any of them. Or you can just leave an emoji if you want to say hi, make your presence known. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.